So, still in lockdown, man like $1 million crawler, main cameraman T-Dog Terence Campbell, getting all United's best Scandinavian players to say man like. I don't even know what that
means. Nothing to do with me, bro.
Right, let's blast into each story. Story number one, probably biggest story in Britain this week. Billy Joe says he's not going to be ready to box Canelo and he's not taking fight.
Yeah, I seen that, Rich, and I was obviously I was surprised, but he's got his reasons for it, and you know you've got to respect them. Hopefully,
somebody said he's not been.
Yeah, so family always comes first, and do you know that that's what it was. So first of all, the main thing is that we hope his nana makes a full recovery, and he hopefully we get to see the Canelo and the Billy Joe fight. It's one of the main fights out there for Canelo. It's been building, and I think stylistically, a lot of people think Billy Joe has got a great chance of doing it.
Yeah. Well, he's ruled himself out for this next one, hasn't he? So we'll link that later story we're going to say anyway.
And fair play to him as well, because he mentioned the money as well, and you've got, you know what I mean. I think you've got to respect that as well from Billy Joe. You know, he sees it as I won't be, getting on the cheap or all like that. So he stood by that, and I think you've got to respect that.
One name that's floats at the top of caliber both mine and yours, John Ryder. What do you think? His name seems to be floating around at the top.
Yeah,
Him and Devinchenko seem to be two favourites, don't they?
Yeah, they've been mentioned a lot. Obviously, from a selfish point of view, I won't mind Callum getting it for the trip over to Vegas. But yeah, John's name's been put forward, and you know what? He's got a great claim to get in and get that chance, and it's one to be willing to take. I think from you mentioned John, Eubank Jr. has been mentioned, obviously Callum as well. Now there's a good chance we will see one of those Brits, but Devinchenko does. I don't know if he looks like the front runner, but listen, Canelo at the minute, it's. I think he certainly needs a credible opponent. He needs a credible opponent. I think there's only going to want one.
If John gets his chance, he's going to stand up in it. He's not going to go and fall over.
Of course, John. I think John doesn't know how to. He's going to go out there and look to pull off a huge upset. It'd be interesting as well. I can't think of too many times. It was Kirkland. Do you know someone similar height to Canelo as well? You know, short squat, how he deals with that. We know he deals with nearly all kinds of styles, but I don't know what Kirkland was. He might see that as in, the southpaw, throw plenty of shots. He might see similarities there. But, listen, if why not? Do you know, John's got a decent claim for that fight.
He gets it, won't it?
Sorry, Rich, it broke up.
Be great if the British kid gets it, won't it?
Of course it would, and that's sort of saying then. It's and we've got a good chance if Devinchenko doesn't get it. You would fancy, like you say, either John, Callum, or Eubank Jr. to have a chance of getting it.
Have you seen this week Billy Joe and Callum and Eubank have been at it again? They don't seem to be able to make that meeting, do they?
I think they always will do.
Eubank put something up about when Billy Joe pulled out about him did he put up about him being a drugs cheat and something else, or too fat or something? And then Billy Joe put up, only drugs I need is a Viagra when things are happening with me and somebody in your family. Where do you go with that?
I think they're always going to have that between them. Always, I think the best just blocking each other, and that'd be that. He might not have added him actually, to be honest. So I don't know. But I think them two are always going to.
Remind me of Kellen Carr.
Possibly. But I think that'd be interesting to see if that ever does happen again. It could do, couldn't it? I know we've mentioned that about Kell and Amir and stuff like that, but it's certainly a fight that I think both would welcome, and it's a fight that'd certainly sell.
Yeah, well, see what happens with that. Story, number 2. This one shocked me. Not often me and you were surprised, but I'm a bit surprised. Dillian Whyte splits from Mark Tibbs.
Yeah, I very, very surprised. They seem to have, and they might have a great relationship. And Dillian's put his reasons. He's out in Portugal. Obviously, Mark's got his gym back here. Mark's got other fighters, and it's got to be what works best for both. Obviously, they've been on a great journey together. So it would have been nice to see him do it, go all the way to a world title. But obviously that's not going to happen now. But obviously you're wishing both the best. Matt's a quality trainer, and everyone knows how high regards his dad's held and stuff like that. But he's learning from that. But he's a great trainer himself, and hopefully, like you say, it works out best for both boys. Obviously, a bit gutting to read, because you like those stories. They've been on a great journey together. The improvements in Dillian under Mark, there's no denying that. And hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully, it works out for them both.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you wonder if there's something else to it as well, because Riakpor's left as well, hasn't it? Richard Riakpo.
That's true. Is Riakpo going to train in Portugal as well, or has that not been said?
All I've heard is that he's well, I've not heard it. The kid said it himself that he's parted ways as well, which is
okay.
Good one, isn't it? I mean, look, a lot of people are jumping around going, "Oh, I'd favour Povetkin now. Dillian's getting it." But whether he's been decided he's going to train with him, you know, and I know he'll have been training with him for the last week.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I don't know. He won't have.
What?
Rich, sorry, I keep losing you, mate. Sorry.
So he's not going to be getting his phone book out now, is he? And looking for somebody.
No. He's already. Like you say, I'm sure the replacement's been lined up. I'm sure him and Mark spoke about it a bit before, the announcement was made. So I'm sure Dillian, especially this far out from a fight, he's gone into camp and he's happy with the decision he's made. And roll on next month, obviously, for the Povetkin fight.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's not said anything, has he? Dillian's put stuff out, Riakpor's put something out, but I've seen Mark.
Yeah, we'll see, like you say, if Mark says anything. I know he's really busy with his own fighters.
We're all on a winning streak. It's a shame, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, massively. And now, listen, you mentioned, we've been talking about Dillian, Riakpo, you mentioned. Riakpo's improving all the time. I'll be honest, I've seen Riakpo early on, and he's getting better fight by fight. From the Sam Hyde one, my stablemate, to then he went, was it McCarthy? And then from McCarthy to the massive fight, which was there last time. So, listen, British champion, it's a great achievement what they've done together. So hopefully, I'd like to say, hopefully it works out. If they don't reform, they get back together. Hopefully it works out.
Fingers crossed. So story 3, I didn't see this fight getting made.
Oof, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, Luke Campbell.
Honestly, really surprised. And listen, do you know, it was in the summer, July 20th, Liam Smith fought Jamie Mungai. So it was like, July 2018. I remember speaking to Garcia. I was when I met him and I was chatting away to him. And do you know what he has got? He's got a set. Which this is away from any cameras when we're talking. And he was if he wasn't, then he was a very good actor. He was absolutely mad for the Tank fight. He wanted the Gervonta Davis fight. And, I was just talking to him, just me and him. And there's no one to impress or anything like that. And he says, that's the fight I want so much. And I know like a bit of time's passed. But, I don't question him as a fighter. A lot of the time we don't have to question the fighter. But I did think, I know it's been a bit of social media between him. We actually talked about it with Ludi Bell, with him and Oscar. However, Luke's a world-class fighter who's coming off a great performance against Lomachenko. He gave a really good account of himself. It's a risky fight. And then there was another option for him on the WBO ring, which on paper, listen, that wasn't an easy fight, but it was seen as the safer option, and more people thought he was going to go that way. So now I think you've got to massively respect him, and I think you say the same. We're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot of questions answered from Garcia, because here's the thing: a lot of people going about him being a social media star and that's it. But no, he can definitely fight. And I think even if you go back to his amateur, you might not have the Olympic gold that Luke had, but he was a good amateur. Yeah. And I'm honestly really looking forward to it. Obviously, the winner will then go on to fight for the world title. It's a massive fight, but I just thought, sort of Garcia being who he is, the star that he is. I know we're talking boxing here, but we know how big social media it is. probably doesn't even have the box. I think he's got 6.3 million followers on Instagram.
So you're saying he costs a few more than me then?
Just a bit. I think he could have the Love Island contract anyway. I know that. And do you know what? He could live a good life without boxing. So it's one of them. Yeah, it's a really exciting fight. Is Garcia the next big star in boxing? If he is, then
I think it's like
he has to deal with Luke.
We're going to know after this fight, aren't we, where he is?
Yeah, because Luke's a quality operator.
This kid is absolutely the real deal. Or maybe it's more hype than it is substance.
Yeah.
We're going
and you know, at the same time, I think it's a great fight for Luke. I know there's you know, if it doesn't go his way, then there's a bit of like, you know, he fell short, you know, now, and listen, you can always come back, but Garcia, there's and I respect sort of Luke for taking it, but what it is also, if Luke does do it, it's a huge name on his record. Man, boxing, but social media, and Luke's profile absolutely flies, and then I imagine it'd be a good payday as well, because any fight with Garcia in is going to involve good money. So I think it's a fantastic fight for Luke Campbell. Just what I've seen so far, I make Luke a fight favourite.
Is it the perfect Campbell to get this fight? Is it
the perfect time?
Is it
perfect
now?
time? Yeah, without a doubt. Garcia's only getting better. He's obviously joined Team Canelo now, hasn't he? So you imagine he's only going to improve. I think Ryan Garcia is only going to keep on improving. So I think the sooner you get him, the better. And I think, like I said, I think it's a great fight for Luke.
Yeah, I know what you mean about. Look, it should be. You'd expect it to be massive money, that. But I've seen something today as well. Garcia's arguing with De La Hoya again, saying, "Versus fights you're offering me. If you don't believe in me, release me."
Wow. Yeah, they've been very vocal, haven't they? Lately, so there's been a lot out there. I mean, a bit back, you've seen like you say, he's going to be the next Oscar De La Hoya, wasn't he? He was the next superstar. And now they've both putting they're hanging it out there, aren't they, on social media? You never want to see that, but there's obviously problems, and that was a little bit with me where it was. I thought, I wonder if Oscar De La Hoya's thought, and then right there you go, there's a fight for you, have it, and that's what, you know, that sort of put up or shut kind of thing. So that was my thoughts as well. But listen, it looks like it's going to happen. I know nothing's signed yet, no dates set yet. Things could change, and would I be surprised if it did? No, I wouldn't. But at the minute, things look good.
No,
listen, I think that's every bit.
I wonder as well, Anne, do you know, because Canelo's never made any secret he don't like De La Hoya, does he? It's kind of out there, isn't it?
That's it, and he's joined. That's it, of course, definitely. You can't help but think that.
I wonder if when Garcia joined that camp, I wonder if De La Hoya thought, could do without this.
Could have done without him going there.
Yeah, I wonder if things have soured further from that point.
Yeah, no way, totally. It makes sense, doesn't it? But we're saying about whether the fight will happen or not, and this isn't sort of me just sticking the 10 pence in, but it looks a lot. If you're going to get excited about Fury Joshua, then it's a lot more further down the line than that is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm massively looking forward to Garcia and Campbell.
There's so much to tell us everything we want to know about Garcia that fight, won't it? Because Luke's bang up there, isn't he? So it's a great.
Yeah,
he is. Anyway, in it for both.
Luke's proved it twice. I think. I know he fell short for a world title twice, but against two unbelievable fighters. But he gave a great account of himself in both of those fights. So, you know, if there was a weaker champion, you'd fancy Luke. You'd fancy Luke against most lightweights in the world, wouldn't you? But it's the lightweight division right now, Rich. It's red hot. Do you know when you look there, you've got Lomachenko, obviously. You've got Campbell, you've got Devin Haney, and then you've got Davis, who's just moved up. It's a tough division. And I think it's a fantastic fight for Luke.
Yeah. Fingers crossed it stays together, that one. Look forward to that. Yeah. Story 4 announced today. Katie Taylor rematching Pursuit.
Oof. Yes.
What do you
Honest
think?
to God.
I'll be honest, it's a long time. I haven't watched it today since it got announced.
Yeah.
I thought she just lost on night, me, Katie.
Rich, a lot of people did. I was there that night, and I was in the back. I've got to listen. If I don't think you've got people online saying she was robbed, and I just think you can't say that Pursuit was robbed. I understand it. You know, if you have it, like you say, for a round, but you see something different. That's it. It was what it was. It was the best female fight I've ever seen. It put women's boxing right up there, and it was unbelievable. I think I've said it. I might have said it on here. I remember being in we were staying in the same hotel as Pursuit, and honestly, Rich, I'm telling you, she was inconsolable. Like, seen her in the venue after the fight, seen her in the hotel like a good few hours. Oh, she was inconsolable. So she's going to come so determined, so determined for this. And last time, she was, she wouldn't be denied.
Has she had enough notice for this one, Pursuit, do you think? If it's been announced today and it's in 4 or 5 weeks, has she been training for it? Thought it works?
I've no idea. I mean, she's certainly not had a full camp.
Yeah.
She's certainly not had a full camp, but it depends if she's in shape. And another thing I remember last time, she come in half a pound over, not inside the limit, sorry. So she had a lot of weight to play with. When I seen that, I thought, oh, okay, he's going to walk through. Oh, wow, I was so wrong. She was relentless, and she didn't have nowhere near, the technical ability of Katie Taylor. But determination, the engine on her was unbelievable. And obviously the engine played a big part that night. If she's not had a full camp, then you don't see how she can do it if she's not been in training, that is. I think Katie wins much more convincing this time, but I'm excited for it. Of course, like I said, it's the best female fight I've ever seen, and it's lit up the garden that night.
Yeah, no, it's a great fight, and we'll see how that one goes. I'm not going to predict yet, because I want to find out whether he's had a full camp. So, number 5, this is a big one. The fight that we're definitely on and done, and 2-fight deal. Apparently now it's not done. So Eddie said today that AJ against Fury, it'll probably maybe take place next year because his other fights first and got to take place first. So we've gone from there, haven't we? Absolute blanket press, and it's definitely everything's done, everything's on too.
Yeah.
As boxing does, bang. Well, maybe it's not. I thought we said though when we spoke to DeBella, we never thought it were really on.
Yeah, listen, if you had, like you say, half a brain how boxing works, or how the business side of things work, it meant nothing. A tweet on social media meant absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's a fight I want to see more than anything. I spoke about it and stuff like that, but there was a long way. So I actually just mentioned before, didn't it, with the Garcia Campbell thing? It's a fact. I just thought it was pointless announcing it, but whether it was, I don't know, lockdown, there wasn't much boxing news, and it certainly was something to talk about. So
I thought we said at the time, didn't we? I think I said it when we were talking to Lo. It was like, at the best, it were an agreement to try and reach an agreement, weren't it?
Yeah, that's what you're telling me.
But don't you think it looks bad for general sports fans that you announce it's all done and it's all dusted, and then next minute, well, maybe it's not. It looks a mess, doesn't it?
It's so the announced, I don't know whether they come to an agreement, but you're telling me Joshua comes through Pulev, Fury comes through Wilder, end of the year, it's just right, sorted. No, because more things have popped up now about the WBC, which we mentioned, the WBO, we mentioned whatsoever. There's it's nowhere near done for all the belts. I mean, listen, they might fight for a few of the belts not on the line, but it's nowhere near, the fight's nowhere near done, is it?
So in short, it is on, but it might not be on. But it is. But it might not be. But it is.
But it is on though.
But it might.
Just don't know when, where, or anything like that. But it's on.
Here's a fight that's on, and I thought we're next, and it surprised me again today. Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce are both taking a warm-up before they box.
Yeah. I've seen that, and I suppose it what it might do? It might build a little bit of interest, but I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him, but I'm hearing Dubois' opponent's decent. He boxed in the World Boxing Super Series. I was reading it from it was one of the journalists, I can't believe it. I'll have to. It was one of the journalists anyway, and they reckon he was very unlucky in the World Boxing Super Series, losing to Tony Yoka, who then went on to the Olympics, who's failed the drug test since. If he's fighting in the World Boxing Super Series, he's capable. So as a takeover fight, you got to respect it. Some people say, "Oh, a bit risky," but yeah.
And do we want to see them both in a warm-up fight? What are they going to get from it? Do you know what I mean?
We don't really want to see him in a warm-up fight. However, I think we'll take seeing him than not at all. Do you know, if it keeps them busy, does it build a bit of interest between the two lads? You know, for this show later in the year, which will be box office possibly. It's such a tricky one to. Listen, I'm happy boxing's back. We've got our first show, haven't we, this week? I'm happy boxing's back, so it's good to see whichever it may be. But I know what you mean. If they're just going to blow someone away in a round or two, I don't really know what it does for either of them. But like I said, I'll have to look more into Joyce's opponent. But from what I'm reading, I don't know his form as a pro or anything like that. But Dubois' opponent was a very capable amateur.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here, won't it? Interesting, but I'll be honest, I'd have liked them to announce, it's on September 10th, or this is it. Yeah. It'd create a lot more interest, I think, for the fight than another one, and then we'll go after that. Tell me if I'm boring you, Crawler.
I apologise, mate. No, I apologise.
Here's a story last night.
Go.
A well-known reporter in States said Miller will probably only get a ban of 1 to 2 years. What do you think to that? Now, I'll take that first. It's difficult because you've got to split it into two parts. And what ban should he get morally? And what bans are precedent? And what can he legally get? And unfortunately, they're two completely different things, aren't they?
Of course.
In terms of what legally do, what can you do?
Sorry, Rich, I lost you then again. Can you just say that again? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's like the two different ways of looking at it, and there are people seem to muddle them together. Because morally, what ban should he get, and legally, and in terms of commission, what can he bet? The moral ban won't match up with the legal ban, and so then morally, should he ever box again? Morally, you might say, well, no, but legally, can they stop him?
Yeah, exactly that, and. I think we talked about he didn't seem that bothered. But do you know what would stop it? What would stop it if promoters just said, no, I don't want him on the show. And that's that sorted. Or, you know, you can box on the show. No, just we don't want you on the show. Or just, you know, take away that contract. I don't know whether the nice contract that he got, whether that's now void. I imagine it is.
Bella said something interesting in an interview this week. Maybe it needs a promoter's charter and manager's charter to say that the people who've been done for drugs and banned like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if promoters say, I'm not working with him, well, that's that. It's sorted then. Yeah. And morally, that's the right thing. You shouldn't box again.
But I mean, if he gets a year on, that's unpalatable.
It's laughable. It's laughable because if he gets a year, and then again, you don't know what date from. So by the time all this is over, he would have missed a few months out of the ring.
Yeah, if they backdate it, then what do they do? They backdate it to when it's out.
I know he was going to fight. He was going to fight in top rank. They're banging the shows out, aren't they, in the bubble and stuff like that. But it's if they backdate it, it's laughable, isn't it? I think if it's not something really harsh, it's going to be laughable, isn't it?
It's like, does it put it? Ultimately, and maybe it's like what Larry said before and stuff like that, who does it put off? Who does it? If he gets, say, 12 months and it's backdated for 3 months, and so he gets 9 months, who does that?
He's right. If that's it, if they don't make an example of him, then it's just, everyone's just going to be doing it.
Right. And also, while we're on doping, did you see that story? Yeah. Not one single, even though we kind of expected it, not one single box tested since start of lockdown.
It's absolutely madness. I'll tell you what we are going to see. We're going to see some boxers in a fantastic shape. I believe that.
On it.
What was that?
be like a Mr. Universe competition.
Hey, I'm telling you now, it will be. It'll be a Mr. Olympia. Them weigh-ins for some. It's horrible, you know. But you'd like to. And there's no denying there will be some people who took advantage of that. It was nice that I seen Barber, saw a few fighters tweeting that they turned back up unexpected. They didn't say we're now testing again. They just turned up. So hopefully, if anyone was cheating who was on that, they'd get caught out. But other than that, what can you say? We talk about the drugs in the sport all the time, but I think them announcing that they wasn't going to be testing during this time was just like, go, yeah, crazy.
Well, I've seen today, and it's about that Taylor Pursuit fight, and I don't think any of them two are doping anyway, as far as I know, but there's never been any rumours about them. But they've said it's got to be VADA testing and it's going to be stringent from now. But if that were a different fight with different characters in, saying it's stringent from now for the next 4 weeks when you've just had 16 weeks off, what does it mean?
I mean, listen, of course, there's still people who will be cheating in the last few weeks, but it's I think they know when to cut off and stuff like that. And listen, it's better late than never. Like I say, and hopefully, like I say, it doesn't affect those two, you know, anyway, certainly. But I don't like you say, I think any fight like that, as soon as it's announced, well, it has only just been announced actually, so I'm talking riddles, but it's, we just want.
If they were, well off it, aren't they? Ages ago.
Of course.
So we'll see what happens with that. We'll keep watching, and we'll be back next week. Boom.
See you then.